So, right now, alam na natin how to properly design our steel beams. Okay? We need to design our steel beams based on the strength requirement and based on the serviceability requirement. Okay? So, under the strength requirement, we have the beam and shear, diba? We have the beams and shear. And under the serviceability requirement, we have the deflection. So, our steel beam need to satisfy this flexure. Okay, it should be flexure or bending, or shear and deflection. So this will these are the criteria for designing steel beams. Okay, again, the steel beams are the horizontal members that are susceptible for bending, or basically yung pure bending lang siya. Ito yung steel beam natin, pure bending lang siya. Right? Then under the bending and flexure, we have the three limit states. We have the yielding, lateral torsional buckling, and flange local buckling. And under shear, we are considering two different scenarios. Number one is when you have stiffeners, when you don't have web stiffeners, or you have a stiffeners but your A over H is greater than 3. Okay, and number two is when you have a stiffeners or web stiffeners and your A over H is less than 3. Okay, so that is this shear requirement. And under the deflection requirement, you have different criteria. So deflection requirements is under the elastic analysis. What is your deflection of your steel beams? And you need to control your deflection of your steel beams to control the damage of non-structural component connected to your steel beams. Kung if you have a glass below your steel beams, if you have a large deflection, maybe that's non-structural component, the glass cladding will break. Okay, so this will be the criteria in designing of your steel beam when you have a pure bending like this one. Okay, the question is, what if there is an existence of an axial load? What if there is an existence of axial load? So the main for a column, we are anticipating a pure axial compression or a pure axial tension. And for column, we are anticipating a pure bending. Okay, only bending, meaning what I call this one pure because very large yung difference between almost zero yung bending in a column and almost zero yung axial in the beams. Okay, but the question in real life scenario, you have a you have a interaction of axial and bending and different forces. In real life, in real life or real structure, okay, this is under theory base. But in real application, the degree of freedom of a single joint, let's say this one, this will be let's say we have a beam or a column, right? Maybe a column like this one, itong column na to, like this column. In real life scenario, you have an earthquake, a wind, a dead load, a live load, gravity loads. This column in 3D has 6 degrees of freedom, meaning you have translation, or you have a shear or reaction. Sorry, you have a reaction at X, Y, and Z, and you have a moment in X, Y, and Z. In X, Y, and Z axis, right? You have a joint load, you have this axis, X, Y, and Z axis. In real life, meron kang existence force na X, Y, and Z. So they are capable to resist this X, Y, and Z. Okay, but depends on the nature of your support condition. So if your support condition is fixed, this reaction and moment in X, Y, and Z directions are existing. But if you have a pin connection, the moments are all zero. There is no rotational translation. But if you have, let's say, if you have uh, you have a roller, you have a reaction and moment, but you don't have Y and Z components. Okay, so it depends on the nature of the support. Okay, so what I'm telling is, in real life, there is an interaction of axial and bending. Okay, that is the real life cases. There is an interaction of axial and bending. So we call this one, the AISC call this one as beam column, or the interaction of axial and bending, or this one as a beam column. So that's yan yung tawag nila yung tawag ng AISC for these cases. Okay, so beams and columns are, let's say this one. So while many structural members can be treated as actually loaded columns, okay, that's like what I said, that our column is treated as actually loaded, only pure axial compression or pure axial tension, and beams only for pure bending, pure flexural loading. Okay, however, most beams and columns are subjected to some degree of both bending and axial load. So for many structural members, however, there will be a significant amount of both effects, and such member are called beam column, or the interaction of our axial with bending. Okay, so there is an interaction of axial with bending. Okay. So another example when kung bakit kayo magkakaroon ng axial with bending interaction is when you don't have a perfectly perfectly constructed building. Okay? Don't have a perfectly constructed building. So for example, based on the drawing that your reinforced concrete or your reinforced concrete, let's say, have a let's say this distances. Or maybe you have here 250, or let's say this one is 400. But in real life, ang nagawa is let's say 245 by 395. Okay. So there is an error. Okay, there is an error. Then therefore, your column, let's say this one is your column, is not placed on the center of your column. So meron siyang eccentricity. What you call this one as an eccentricity. There is an eccentricity to the load and to the center of gravity of your section. Okay, so at this case, you have an axial with bending interaction. Okay, so there is a provisions in AISC how to deal with this kind of cases when you have an interaction of axial and bending, or what they call is beam columns. So let us recall ano yung napag-aralan natin in the prelims and midterms when designing compression members, tension members, and steel beams. Okay. So let us recall that the required strength is should be less than or equal to the available strength, or what we call this one as your demand load should be less than or equal to your required strength or your capacity. Sorry, not required strength, the capacity. Okay, so your demand load shall be less than or equal to your capacity, or they call this one the required strength shall be less than or equal to the available strength. So in order to satisfy or to be safe in your steel members or your structural members. So in tension members in LRFD, we are comparing the T sub U in phi sub T Tn, right? Whereas your phi sub T is the resistance factor in tension. And for ASD, you have T sub A, less than or equal to T sub n divided by the factor of safety omega in tension. What you have this subscript T in tension. And in compression members, in columns, in compression members, your PU shall be less than or equal to your phi sub C Pn, right? And your phi sub C is the resistance factor in compression. And in ASD, your PA shall be less than or equal to P sub N over omega sub C. Then your omega sub C is the factor of safety in compression. So this is our working equation when we're dealing with how to check with to the adequacy of our steel members. Then the interaction equation or the demand capacity ratio, as you all know right now, what is the DCR, is basically the ratio of your demand to the capacity. So we get the interaction formula by dividing these both sides by the available strength. So therefore, the required strength and the available strength, or we call this one as the demand capacity ratio, or D demand divided by the capacity, shall be always less than 0, or less than 1.0. Sorry, this one should be always less than 1.0 in order to satisfy to the adequacy of our steel beams. The adequacy or the safety of our steel or of our steel members. Okay, so masasabi natin na safe yung ating members when our demand capacity ratio is less than 1.0, right? So for example, in compression members, the strength are axial forces. Okay, right? In compression, the strengths are based on axial forces in kips or in kilonewtons. So let's say in LRFT, your phi u, P sub u is less than is divided by phi sub CPN shall be less than or equal to 1.0. And for ASD, this P sub A divided by Pn over gamma C or over omega C is less than or equal to 1.0. So basically this one, just divide this one and you have 1.0. Okay, this one. Okay. This expression can be written in the general form that P sub R over P sub C, where P sub R is required axial strength and P sub C is the available axial strength. So basically the same in our demand capacity ratio. The only thing changes is the subscript. The AASC use R and C. R is for the required strength, and C is for the capacity or the available strength. Okay, so this one can be generalized. This ratio can be generalized to these equations: PR over PC, where P sub R is the required strength and PC is the available strength. Okay, then we call this one as the interaction formula for compression. Okay, now considering moment. Okay, now with what if considering moment, so just change P to M for moment, just MR over MC shall be less than or equal to 1.0. We call this one as the interaction formula for bending only. Okay, so this way is the interaction formula for compression and the interaction formula for bending. Okay, so now considering this combined axial and moment. Okay, considering this combined axial and moment, therefore, the sum of your interaction formula for bending and the interaction formula, the interaction formula for compression and the interaction formula for bending, okay, the sum of their interaction formula shall be always greater than 1.0 if you are considering this combined axial moment. So we call this one. We call this as the interaction formula for axial with bending on single axis only. Okay, so now let us consider both axes. Okay, so what if we consider, let's say we have this section and you have a bending in Y and you have a bending in X. Okay, Therefore, the interaction formula for both axis bending is PR over PC plus MR over MC on the x-axis plus MR over MC on the y-axis shall be less than or equal to 1.0. So this is the interaction formula for axial with bending on both axes. So on Saturday, if you try to solve structural analysis of beams and structural analysis of our project, okay, you can see that in the output of the structural analysis, at every joints you have three moments. Okay, this MY, this MX, and this MZ. Okay, these moments, these three moments are the are the moments in both axes, and yung isa is for the torsion. Okay, the torsion. So this one, so along siya dito sa grid na to. So that is for the torsion. Okay, so later on in when you are dealing with the structural analysis of the whole structure, you can see that you have this bending in both axes. Okay, so this bending in both axes are the interaction formula considering this bending in both axes. So PR over PC, MR over MC on the x-axis plus MR over MC in the y-axis shall be less than or equal to 1.0. So this will be our equation 1. Okay, this let's call this one as equation 1. So now this equation 1 are the basis of the AISC formulas. So this interaction formula are the basis of the AISC. So they just modify this interaction formula considering different cases. So what are those cases? Number 1 is for small axial load, and number 2 is for the large axial load. Okay, so for small axial load, the small axial load is reduced, as you can see. And for large axial load, the bending term is reduced. Okay, ganito yon. So this is for large axial load. Ito yung cases when you have large axial load. Okay, axial is compression, compressive force. Okay, and this one is for small axial load. Okay, if we compare this AIS equation to our basic interaction equation, okay, this one, the constant or the coefficients of each term is 1.0. This one 1.0, this one is also 1.0. So the coefficients of each term is 1.0. But the AISC provides a factor or coefficients or constants that will modify the axial or bending. Depends on the cases. Okay, when you have a large axial load, the bending term is reduced. So as you can see, you have a factor of 8/9 to the bending in both axes. 8/9 is less than 1.0. 8/9 is 8/9 is 88.88. So for large axial load, the bending term is reduced, and for small axial load, the axial load is reduced. The axial load interaction is reduced by 1/2. Okay, you have this small modifier 1/2. Okay, and this one remains 1.0. Just like this one, this remains 1.0, but this one has a factor of 8/9. Okay, so this will be the AIS equation for H1-1A for a large axial load, meaning you have the interaction equation for axial that is greater than 0.2, or the DCR that is greater than 0.2. And when your TCR or PR over PC is less than 0.2, you have this equation. So you can tell if your beam volume is satisfying the strength requirement or not because of this AISC interaction equation. Okay, so this case is for doubly and singly symmetric members subjected to flexure and axial force. So doubly and singly symmetric meaning both axis symmetric in shape. So doubly symmetric shapes are I-beam, I-beam, then also a hollow section. Yan yung mga doubly symmetric, meaning you have a symmetric on X and symmetric on Y axis. And for singly symmetric members is for C shape, for WT, yung T shape, then ano pa? S shape, just like this one. Okay, so this is for this cases, yung doubly symmetric, and this is for singly symmetric cases. Okay, so PR over PC greater than 0.2, you have this equation, interaction equation. And for PR over PC that is less than 0.2, this is your interaction equation. Okay, PR is the required axial strength determined accordance to chapter C using the LRFD or ASD load combination. This is the demand. Okay, lahat ng numerator, all the numerators are from the demand. Take note of this one. All the numerator comes from the demand. And all the denominators comes from the capacity. Para hindi kayo malito. Okay? And PC is the available axial strength determined in accordance to chapter E. MR is the required flexural strength determined in accordance to ASD or LRFD load combinations. MC is the available flexural strength determined in accordance with chapter F. X and Y are the subscript relating to symbol from major axis bending and minor axis bending respectively. Okay, so that is our interaction equation for doubly and singly symmetric members. So if you are dealing with LRFD demand, you use LRFD capacity. If you're using, if you're dealing with the ASD demand or ASD load combination, you need to use the ASD design capacity. Okay. So expanding the equation in LRFD and ASD is you have this one. So the LRFD interaction equations for LRFD, so PU is over phi sub CPN is greater than 0.2. You have this equation. And PU over phi sub CPN 0.2, you have this equation. For ASD, you have this equation. So don't worry about this one. Just remember what is your demand and what is your capacity. You're good to go in this interaction equations. Okay, so let's try to solve problems regarding this interaction equations of axial and bending. So example problem 1, determine whether the given members satisfy the appropriate AISC interaction equation. So do not consider moment amplification. So the loads are 50% dead load and 50% live load. So bending is about x-axis and the steel is ASTM A992 Fy equals to 50 KSI. Okay. Sige, let's try. Using LRFD and using ASD. So let us determine if this W12 by 106 satisfy the capacity when you have an existing axial compression and existing bending. if this column can handle these combinations of bending and axial compressions. Okay, the Kx and Ky are 1.0, meaning you have pin-ended connections in our column, and the Cb value is 1.0. Okay, sige, let's try. This CB value is the moment amplification method, if you remember. The uniform gradient, a non-uniform gradient depends on the moments of our columns. Okay, so let us try to solve for this one. For this one, we have two solutions. Solution A is we can solve the available strength or the capacity of the section based on manual computation for compressive strength and moment capacity. So you can check this module 7 and module 9. Okay, module 7 is the AISC requirements for designing compression or columns, and module 9 is the AISC requirements for flexure of beams. Okay, so you can solve the capacity based on these modules, module 7 and module 9. So using W12 by 106 LB, which is 14 feet, the total unbraced length is 14 feet. Your CB is 1.0, your KX, KY is 1.0, and your FY is 50 KSI. Then we have the solution B. So we can also solve this available strength or capacity of the section based on the table given by the AISC manual. Okay, table 4-1 is for the compressive strength and table 3-10 is for the moment strength using the same given parameters. Okay, let's try to solve natin tong solution B. Okay, for solution A, you already know how to solve for the capacity. So, based on module 7 and module 9. So, i-check nyo the slenderness, check the for columns, and for the beams naman, check nyo yung yielding, LTB, and FLB. Okay, so using this solution A. But for solution B, I'm showing this solution B. You need to check lang the table given by the AISC manual. Okay, so let us first solve the available strength and the capacity. So using the W12 by 106 with KX, KY that is 1.0 and FY that is 50 KSI. So if you recall, I've already showed this to the class, yung table when you can see the capacity of your column. You no need to solve. Okay, so your unbraced length is 14 feet. Okay, or your LE, effective length, sorry, your effective length is equals to K times L, right? So that is equals to 1.0 times 14, that is 14 feet. So you need to check the effective length in 14 feet. Check this W12. Okay, check this FY 50 KSI. Okay, then check the unit weight of your steel section, that is 106 pounds per foot. So this one, so 14 effective length, 14 feet effective length, 106 pounds per feet. Therefore you have this capacity. Okay, so zoom natin. You have 755 kips capacity in ASD and 1130 kips capacity in LRF. So this is the compressive strength capacity. Then solving for the moment strength capacity based on the table. Okay, so no need to check that. You can use this solution B by utilizing this table. So again, using the same parameter, W12 106, LB that is 14 feet with CB that is 1.0, and your FY is 50 KSI. So let us check. FY 50, CB that is 1, And we need to find W12 by 106 in this graph. So where is our W12 by 106? Okay. Our W12 by 106 is given by this graph. Kung nakikita nyo, this one. This is the moment strength of W12 by 106. Okay. So the strength of W12 by 106, let us find our LB. Our LB is 14 feet. Our unbraced length is 14 feet. Therefore, we need to find the interaction of this 14 feet and this graph. So projecting the vertical line for 14 feet unbraced length. Okay. The interaction of the unbraced length and this capacity graph is this one. So pumatak siya dito sa line na to. This line. Okay. So basically we just need to find the coordinates of this point, okay, in AISD and LRFT. So how to solve for that one? For LRFT, just get the maximum and minimum of the given data and divide it by the number of lines. So how many lines between 600 to 585? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you have 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So meaning every line, okay, every line you have this 600 minus 585 divided by 5. That you have 3 kips feet per line. So that is the scale or the unit per line. And for AST, so 400 minus 390 divided by 5 lines, you have 10 over 5 kips per line. Okay, 10 over 5 kips per line. Okay, so let us try this one. So how many lines? So 585 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, or basically 600 minus 3. So therefore you have 596 kips feet. Okay, then for AST, how many lines? So maybe you can start from 390. So 390, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 10 over 5. Okay, so for 390 plus 4 times 10 over 5, you get 398. Or maybe 400 minus 1 line. Okay, you have 1 line below. You have this 398 kips feet. Okay, so therefore, the capacities in LRFT is 1130. And the moment strength capacity in LRFT is 597. And compressive strength capacity in AST is 755. And the moment strength capacity in AST is 398. Okay, so let us get that one lang mamaya. Okay, so kunin lang natin siya later. Then for the required strength and demand, or required strength or the demand. Okay, so for the required strength, according to the problem, we have 50% dead load and 50% live load. So ito siya yung total. So therefore, this 250 comes from 50% dead load and 50% live load. So meaning this 250 kips force comes from 125 kips dead load and 125 kips live load. And this 240 moment comes from 120 dead load and 120 live load. Okay. So using the LRFD load combinations, so LRFD load combination, you need to check U1 or U2 since you only have dead load and live load. So dead load, 1.4 dead load, you have 175 kips or 1.4 times 125. Then for U2, 1.2 times dead load, 1.6 times live load, okay, you have 350 kips. So comparing U1 and U2, therefore the required strength in axial under LRFD is 350 kips. Okay, then for moment, okay, the two load combinations are 1.4 dead load, 1.2, 1.6 live load. So using the moment, dead load 120, live load 120, you get 1.2 times 120, 1.6 times 120, you have 336 kips feet. So this 336 kips feet is the required strength or the demand moment under LRFD. Okay. So for AST, so you just basically use dead load and live load only. So dead load plus live load, that is 250 kips. Dead load plus live load is 240 kips feet. Okay, 250 kips is the required strength or the demand load on ASD in axial. Okay, and 240 feet kips is the demand load for moment in ASD. Okay, so wag lang kayong malito doon. So just paghiwa-hiwalay nyo lang yung ASD, yung LRFD, yung moments and axial. Okay? So summary of the required strength and the available strength. Okay, so required strength or yung demand natin, under compressive strength, required strength, or in axial, this is for axial, we have 350 kips in LRFD and 250 kips in ASD. Okay, and the moment strength required or for bending, we have 336 kips in LRFD and 240 kips in ASD. And for the available strength, we have the capacity. So for the capacity in axial, 1130 kips and 755 kips, and the moment strength capacity in or in bending is 597 and 396.67. Okay, so this is for the capacity, this is for the demand. So the LRF dissolution, so for LRF dissolution, phi u over phi sub CPN, let us check if this is large axial load or small axial load. So 350, so LRFD, we're using LRFD, right? LRFD, so demand in LRFD in compression, capacity in LRFD in compression. So that is why you have 350 versus 1130. So 350 divide 1130, you have 0.3097. That is greater than 0.2. Therefore, you will use the interaction equation H1-1E or using this equation. So therefore, you have a very large axial load. So therefore, your equation is this one. Phi u over phi sub CPN plus 8 over 9, this moment interaction. So 350 over 1130. So what is the demand moment in LRFD? The demand moment in LRFD, demand moment LRFD is 336. What is the capacity moment in LRFD? So capacity moment LRFD 597. You have 597. And according to the problem, this is only for axis on the bending on the x-axis. So therefore, in your y-axis, you have 0 over 0. So therefore, if you try to solve for this equation, that is 0.81, that is still less than 1.0. Therefore, your column is okay. Therefore, the members satisfy the ASC specifications and adequate to carry the loads. Okay. Then for ASD solution, okay, for ASD solution, let us check if it is a small axial load or a large axial load. So P sub A divided by the phi sub N over omega C. So saan galing yung 250 and 755? That is for the demand load in compression in ASD, that is 250. Then divided by the capacity in compression under ASD, that is 755. Therefore, you have 250 divided 755, that is 0.3311. So that is greater than 0.2. Therefore, we will also use H1-1A. So for this one, phi A over Pn phi C plus 8 over 9, the moment interaction shall be less than or equal to 1.0. So ganun pa rin. So 250 divided by 755 plus 8 over 9 multiplied by what is the bending required moment in ASD. This one is the required so the demand moment in ASD. So the demand moment in ASD, so demand moment ASD, that is 240. And this one is the capacity moment in ASD. So capacity moment ASD, you have 396.67. And again, the problem is only on the x-axis. So therefore, your y-axis is 0 over 0. Therefore, you have 0.87. If you evaluate this equation, you have 0.87. And it is still less than 1.0. Therefore, okay. Therefore, the member satisfies the AISC specification and adequate to carry the loads. Okay, so don't be confused lang in the equation. So don't confuse sa mga equations. So basically just use this summary. So tabulate your summary. Okay, tabulate the demand in compression and the demand in moment. Then write LRFD and ASD, write LRFD and ASD. Then on the left side, tabulate the capacity in compression under LRFD and ASD, and the capacity in bending in moment under LRFD and ASD. Okay, so just use this summary para hindi kayo malito sa equations. Okay, so do you have any questions, class? Hello? Do you have any? Yeah. Yes?
None po, sir.
Wala. Okay. Sige. For this one, for your homework, so this is first homework in midterms. So check the interaction equation for the same problem using W16 by 89. Okay. So this time, change your the section to W16 by 89. So this one, W12 by 106 versus W16 by 89. So you can use solution A or solution B. So solution B is what I've given in the using the table, using this table. Okay. Okay, so for the moment capacity of W16 by 89, you can see the same table given by the ASD. You can find W16 by 89. Okay, so para makita nyo yung W16 by 89 for the moments, okay, you can check W16 by 89 capacity using this this graph. Nandito lang siya. This one, W16 by 89. However, you can still use solution A if you want. Yung solution A is basically using a manual computation of the capacity. Then for the actual capacity, for W16 by 89, you can use a table or you can use a manual computation for W16 by 89. So if the section is adequate for both LRFD and ASD, so compare your W12 by 106 and W16 by 89. So if the section are both adequate, which one is better in economical? So please make a conclusion if which one is better in economical. Kapag na-check nyo na adequate siya for both LRFD and ASD. Okay, so may question kayo for the activity, for the homework? Okay, any more for the class? None? Okay, so okay. So again, the duration of this is 1 week. Okay, so next meeting, Thursday next meeting. Thursday next week, sorry. Thursday next week, which is March 24, you will have your first quiz. So March 24, quiz 3. So the coverage is beam, and this ASE beam column. For under beams, you have 3: flexure, shear, deflection. Okay, so this will be the coverage of your quiz 3 on March 24. March 24. Okay, so this is your announcement. So same time, 10:30 to 12. Then next meeting Tuesday. Okay, next meeting Tuesday. That is March 22. So we will discuss design of purlins, steel purlins, and check na rin natin if we can include the design of steel base plates. Okay, steel base plates. Okay, then for the reference of our discussion, just check this AISC manual, the NSCP 2015, the steel design by SEGI. Okay, and thank you class for listening. Okay, so I'll stop recording na.